We got some invites to do. Food all on my face. We got some invites to do, and then we're gonna get into the video. I got a couple people. I got guests coming in, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna do my first invites, and then I'm gonna pull the guests in. I selected the title, "Reviewing the Roots of the Work." The roots of the work is basically another way of saying cashing the receipt. The roots of the work is at the core of it. What did you do? Okay, so I just named it that. It seemed kind of appropriate for who we have as guests because we dealing with the Haitian Revolutionary Conjuring, the closing of it, right? So bring the Orisha. And what it do, Teddy? We gonna take this from there, and we gonna also got to bring in the sister Phoenix in a minute. What's going on, God?
Peace and blessings, Alafia. Peace and blessings, everyone. How y'all doing tonight?
Man, I love the shit out that hat, man.
Man, I appreciate. I've been getting some crazy reviews on it, especially in Mississippi. Hat Place, they gave me a bunch of hats and asked me to do some of their hats now. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah,
How you doing, guy? How you doing?
For them to ask you that, it's the reason that they ain't just ask you just to be asking you. So y'all got to pay attention because he done went back to the Holy Land, the real Holy Land, and these hats all mean something different. He got on the top hat. So when you went down there, they was looking at you as the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter is one of the brothers to come to tear shit up. Because you know who wear the top hat.
Yeah.
The Baron wear the top hat.
Man,
Bedford wear the top hat. Right? And sometimes Ogun wear the top hat. But when you wear that top hat, yeah. So they probably thought you was the Mad Hatter that gave you all them hats.
Everywhere I go, you know, I don't take credit for nothing. Bobby Hemmett was the one that initially put me on it. Hold on, before we do anything else, I noticed you're live. Whenever you're ready. But
stop. Do what you're doing. I gotta follow through with that. That's a call from the ancestors for y'all that don't know.
I stay. For all the known and unknown ancestors, for all the known and unknown revolutionaries, teachers that have been teaching us from Dr. George Washington Carver, Bobby Hemmett. There's so many more, but I always want to say something. We got to show love to our ancestors and all the great teachers, known and unknown. I say. And most definitely respect to you, OG, for the knowledge you putting out there for us. The Phoenix, who's going to be on here shortly. I say. But I'm sorry. What were we saying now?
Oh, you good? We going into what you own? Well, I was going into a little bit of the topic because I named it reviewing roots of the work. You know, when you work the conjure, they call it working the root. Right. And so what everybody, all of the people that keep accusing me of casting conjures don't know how dumb they sound. I came to make the motherfuckers who had open conjures close that shit. Why would I open one up at the close of the age, which is an asinine thing to do? So that lets you know that they don't even know what the fuck they talking about.
Or option two, they agents. I've noticed something. I've been noticed a lot of people being in the live don't really be for it. But it's a trillion things you could be doing while you're here unless you're an agent. So some people, they just try to just talk. People don't even have knowledge anymore. You just talk to hear something talk. You know what I'm saying? And they're missing everything. Sometimes if the word, like they getting caught up in messengers, they getting caught up in all this. But you just find you something to do. You know what I'm saying? Ever since you what you asked me to do, I did it. And when I did it, I can tell you for myself, for my business, for my family, things change immediately. I can't go into like paraphrasing it in 5 minutes, but when I tell you, I was just walking through communities and people were just acting real different to me, whether they've seen any of my videos or not. They were just responding to me different. When I went to New Orleans, it wasn't 5 minutes. You can ask anybody. It wasn't 5 minutes into New Orleans, but people approached me like, yo, pop the trunk. We want whatever you got. You see what I'm saying? When I go to Mississippi, the white folks open the door for me. How can we help you, sir? You know what I'm saying? So what you said came true, and we just got to get back into our rituals. And tonight is a powerful, powerful full moon. I think that we let so many full moons and eclipses pass us. I'm not saying that you're supposed to utilize every single one of them, but we really need to start tapping into our rituals more. And what you did to help me, and the rituals you was explaining to me, and I did it. I saw immediate results. No cap, no lie, no pun intended. So appreciation.
In order to be able to move that energy, you had to be spiritually strong, so to speak. Your rank high in the spirit, your spiritual essence strong. You're gonna see immediate results. And then they wouldn't have had you put in the work you did 200 years ago, right? Or 250 years ago, if they thought you wasn't gonna be able to close it out now.
I see.
You know what I'm saying? So when everybody is called, they can't use half-assers. When you finna do something this big, you can't use half-assers. The only thing the half-assers can do is half-ass their way out the way, because they only in the way. So now, when you know, that's why I keep reiterating it over and over. All of the masters you read about in the books is back.
I see.
They all back. Every last one of them, they back.
And
but,
you know what's funny? In the prophecies, all those prophecies, they're saying the exact same thing. They're coming back. They coming this. I was on the phone with I'm in out here in New Orleans with Sister Jada. I'm out in Mississippi now, but she was saying that if you look at these prophecies, I ain't gonna say too many words because my Facebook just got banned for saying too much. But all of them saying the same thing, that the ones that are prophesying in these prophets' names, or these so-called prophets' names, aren't going to be the real ones. That's what they said in the Quran. That's what they said in the Torah. That's what they said in the Bible. And there will be a time where the prophet Yahshua will say, none of y'all, I don't know none of y'all. And this was only but 2,000 years ago. So who was he talking about? Like, clearly he's saying, I don't know none of you. So I don't try to debate with none of these people. I don't try to explain nothing, because we're trying to debate. It's not intelligent to debate with the ones that they're saying are the agents. The Quran specifically said that the desert Arab is the worst Muslim.
Yeah. The Bedouins, the word that they use for desert Arab in the translation is Bedouin. Muhammad said the Bedouin is the worst of the unbelievers. Because they stand in your face and say, yes, we believe.
And in their heart, they don't.
Hey.
Oh, so you on it. Yeah, that's our deep right there.
Yeah. He say, but they shirk.
I say
hypocrites. They bearing false witness. They are kafarun, considered what they know to be true. The munafiqun, right? So they be having motherfuckers killed. Like they had Salman Rushdie, they stabbed him 30 years later. They couldn't find him because he was hiding from them. 30 years later, he doing a live speech. I think he was over here somewhere in the States, probably New York, and they stabbed him. The same motherfuckers that's calling you a hypocrite is being hypocritical. Now make this shit make sense. They say they follow the sunnah of the prophet, but it looked like they sooner or later following some shit that nobody ain't telling them to follow, including the prophet. Now, whenever they need a hadith so they can justify some bullshit, they're going to make one up and say it was from a trustworthy source. But why ain't nobody ever read this motherfucker?
Well, the thing is, they weren't expecting us to read in periods. That's the thing. A lot of stuff you can read, the numbers, the timelines, everything else is right there in our face. We don't do, like you said, the due diligence of reading and trying to comprehend what's really putting out there. Even when we talk about this, Kanye's right. It's deeper than just saying Kanye's right. It's deeper than just the little thing they wear in their head. It's deeper than the little fake sideburns. Who did it better? You know, I'm not trying to compare myself or put myself on a scale with none of them. That's a copy of a copy, which ain't never gonna come out right. You feel me? I'm trying to tap into. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to tap into, but everybody's trying to ignore the esoteric part or saying like that's something. I just feel like, even like I said, going back to this, that's something that Bobby Hemmett put on us. You know what I'm saying? And when you were talking about the feds versus the feds versus the feathers, and it's just certain things I put together. Now, with what we know now, there's certain stones I wouldn't like. All that sacrifice shit, that shit is dead. All that damn getting rid of the poor righteous teachers, or that this ain't that age for that. They had the
Yeah,
age, but vice
the,
versa.
de- the
Yeah, that's
declaration been made. No longer shall the righteous suffer for the indignations of the wicked. You can no longer offer the blood of the righteous to redeem you from your wickedness. Enlil accept that shit. Inky, I9, and Nor2 Hootie accept that shit. Right? So Inky and I9 are leaving after the coronation. Enlil punk asses are indisposed. Right? So that just leaves Tahuti here, Thoth, and he not accepting no motherfucking sacrifices. You won't sacrifice the righteous blood because under the old law, the righteous blood should not be spilled in vain. But under the new law or under the new regime, the rule is no longer shall the righteous suffer for the indignation of the wicked. Every motherfucker that do the dirt shall reap the harvest of the dirt they done theyself. They shall not pawn it off on another. That's where I'm at with it.
I see.
So if they want to push it off on somebody else, go. You can try it. That shit definitely gonna backfire in multiples of 1,000 because it's been declared at the beginning of the new age. The Aquarian age is not an age where we're gonna be accepting blood sacrifices of the righteous, and that's just the way it is. And
Well,
anybody who's planning on being here need to learn that and learn it quick.
I think the ones that gonna know, they're the ones that's gonna know. Commenting, yeah, but yeah, OG, I know we had a couple things. Mine was on currency. I say, all hail Sekhmet, all hail
Hey,
Thoth, all
Yes,
hail Sekhmet.
yes,
I say, guys,
I say.
it ain't
it's
holy
so.
till the soul get here.
I say,
Look, you see, I got mine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
all hail Sekhmet. I know tonight I wanted to speak on the a couple things. One of the things is I'm in Mississippi. I'm not really on Mississippi on a social visit per se, or because family they got some other stuff going on in Mississippi. So I'm gonna throw this
Mississippi
out here.
holy
This
ground.
yeah, I'm doing some. I was just went to the Mississippi River the other day, did a little thing. I'm trying to upgrade some ways of thinking. And I'm gonna throw this out here real quick. We got 216 people plus ourselves, right? I'm gonna throw this out here right now. When we fight this law system, we not fighting with words no more. We ain't fighting with hands, none of that. We fighting with these herbs. And I'm throwing this as free gems, free money. Like people charge you for this. Black mustard seed and black poppy seed. Black
Mhm.
mustard seed, black poppy seed. That seal in every courtroom, that seal on every badge. If you keep black mustard seed and poppy seed every time, keep it closed tight. But every time you see that, you throw it. If you go into the courthouse and just try it, black mustard seed, black poppy seed, take it into the courts and throw it in the courts. You will fuck up that whole turbulence. Don't take my word for it, K0146. But I had to come down here because they just killed another child. And that's
Yeah.
just this. I'm from Gulfport. That's normal. I ain't about to get out there and talk too much about it because I'm from Gulfport. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mhm.
from Florida, but I was raised in Gulfport, so we know what it's hitting for. They do this every couple of years because we down here with something called the Dixie Mafia. And the
Mhm.
Dixie Mafia is it is what it is. Like I say, because we didn't know what we know now. I got too much juju for them now, and that's when they don't want to come back to Mississippi. But that's why I'm here. I'm hollering at some big mamas, talking to them. I'm hollering at some strong brothers and sisters or whatever, all the way back and forth to New Orleans. And I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, Florida, New Orleans, Mississippi, all that was one, and it still is one if we want to take it back to that. Because, like you said, we never surrendered, and as you see, we not dead. So
They
I
keep
really want
saying
to.
they stole my
Right, but
land, but I
let
keep
me
seeing
just
it
say
every time I
also,
look out the window.
right. So, but I'm gonna say this, kind of like I think I was telling y'all, you have to understand and understand. Right now, they desperate, right? So I was talking to OG, and like I was telling him earlier today, everything that you kind of been speaking out, And I went back and I've been watching your videos since 2018. It's all coming to fruition. Like the receipts is receipting. Like anybody saying, well, where the receipts? The receipts is in the news every day. So it's already been game over. And I mean, this is on a global scale. So whether it's been OG Rod, whether it's Divine Insight, whether it's been Kali, whoever it is that you can listen to or follow, all of the information is coming through. So, and it's and like me, obviously, I'm from an astrologer galactic level. So to me, when I'm looking at stars, I read it like a newspaper. So they're trying to do different things, like he said, because they used to the old ways where they could do blood sacrifices, and the shit ain't working. And they not understanding, and they fighting for their life, but the fight over. And like today, obviously, was the blood moon lunar eclipse. They even tried to plan and push back their elections a week. But you see what's happening in Brazil. If you haven't been saying what's happening in Brazil, that's an Oshun pool down there, what's going on in Brazil. You see a hurricane coming in or get ready to come through in Florida. That's from Oshun Yemiya, Mommy Water Pool. If you over here and you see, the energy that's going on, all of this stuff is galactic. And what you understand, the house of Taurus is the house of financial security, stability, and finance. And what it is it hits Uranus. So if you know what Uranus is, the great awakener, the sudden change. And Taurus is about structure. I don't want to move. I don't want to go nowhere. What it's saying is, I don't give a fuck what you want. This shit is moving, it's going, this shit is done, it's over. And Scorpio coming in to knock it out. And it hit the opposing. It was the sun, which is the over planet, masculine energy, Mercury, communication, and the south node, which is the direction you are to go no more. So it opposes all that. And so where Uranus and where Taurus is the north node, which is the direction we are to go. And it also was hitting as far as in the moon. And then Uranus is the great awakening. So it's saying I'm having a whole electric, and it's almost like a double contundra, really almost a triple. So you got an eclipse, which is, and a full moon, which is double. And it shows shaking shit up, they don't know what to do. And like I was kind of telling y'all, from March 7th, because just like we got natal charts, America, or really is Britain, because we know that they're all colonies, has their natal chart too. The day that they claim their birth is coming to fruition. And their fruition and their chart is hitting on March 7th, 2023 and March 23rd, 2023, with the Pluto in Aquarius and Saturn in Pisces return. What that means basically is all that shit is done. That Pluto Aquarian shit ain't happened. This ain't no once every 3 years, like when you say, oh, Mercury in retrograde, my stuff is messed up, I can't. No, this is, I'm shutting all your shit down. Like, over.
Okay.
And that's why the money system gone. That's why that 10-foot wall that went up in the Federal Reserve. That's why when he say DC is permanently closed, this shit is permanently motherfucking closed. This bitch ain't opening up. I don't even know why people went to vote today. It's CGI. This shit is not real.
Phoenix, what day did we switch into Taurus?
Well, we're actually in Scorpio, but we switched to Taurus. That Taurus is in April, but I'm saying from the eclipse energy, this is, because when you have the sign.
I'm just trying to slow you down so the people that's watching, because I was keeping up, but I was saying, because it was kind of hard for me to keep up. So when it's hard for me to keep up, I got to slow you down. It's because a lot of the people be like, what's he talking about? So the energy that we reading.
Okay, so the paper we reading is, when you could say basically the energy we moved in is when Scorpio season started. So that's when these eclipses, and really actually it kind of started moving in April when we started moving to the Taurus Scorpio eclipses. That's when this energy really started.
When you say Taurus Scorpio eclipses, can you explain that a little bit? So
eclipses in layman's terms is beginnings and endings. It's when you have the sun, so the solar energy, and the moon. I'm trying to put it in layman's terms. Basically, it's eclipses, it's portals, openings, gateways, doorways. So if anybody used to listen to Divine Insight, when he say rainbows are portals or gateways or openings, that's astrologically. We know that we're not just on Earth. Like, we know beings is in here. So they here. Like, I don't know no other way to say it. Like, they are here. And the portal.
Right, we already got that. I'm trying to get them get you slow down enough for the people to be able to keep track with when the energy shifted, how the energy, what does it mean when it's shifted? What do it look like in the 3D? So I was just taking you step by step.
Okay, so
we going into Taurus, Scorpio eclipses, and now we have eclipse and the blood moon on the same day, on an election day,
Mm-hmm.
in the zodiac sign of Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And the year of the tiger. This is the year of the black tiger as well.
Year of Shango, which is Shango's
With the
energy
year,
too.
the big year 6, year of Shango. That's why I said, because we talk to all the time. I'm already with you because you've been prepping me on this for some years now. But it's just like the year of Shango, the year of 6. You know what 6 is. I know what 6 is. 6 came to do what we gonna do: destroy and rebuild. We're
Right.
gonna flip it, like you say, flip 180, flip south, 180, flip north, right? 72 each way around. So that's a 3. I mean, you know what I'm saying. So it's like boom. But this is the year of Shango. Let's start there. This is the year of Shango. Hold on.
And I thought somebody put Mars retrograde in Gemini. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
enough
and then
energy that's
by
going
us being
on. It's
Taurus,
so much
Taurus is
energy
money.
going on right now. Yeah.
Taurus is the bull. That's why. And when you talk about stocks, you're looking at the bull and the bear. Taurus is money. By being Scorpio, that's money, but it's also just as quick as it is to reward you. Because my mother's a Scorpio. Just
Right.
as quick as it is to reward you, it's also as quick to punish you. As you see, there will be blood on this, like anything with a tiger, there's blood. Anything with a scorpion, there's going to be attacks. Shango, there's attacks, but it's strategic. It's political. Shango is political. So I'm sorry.
It's also harmonic, right? Because Scorpio is all or none, right? So it's not no hiding, it's not no grays. And kind of also when you look at Taurus scorpionic energy, it's if you haven't been doing right, so whether it's eating right, whether you haven't had your energy, it's the Anubis energy. Think about it, light as a feather. It's weighing of the heart, right?
Yeah.
So we are literally in Anubis energy of the weighing of the heart. So if your shit ain't been right, that's why, like, if y'all been seeing videos online where they're saying kids was in school and it seemed like they're falling out, whether you want to say it's because of the shot or the energy, no, the DNA is upgrading. So when people were saying about eating right, I'm not saying people have to all be vegan or whatever, but the energy in the crystalline DNA in the weighing of the heart, the Anubis energy is on the planet. Like
Consequences.
So
yeah.
let me
You got
go
to pay for the
into a little
consequences.
bit of the Anubis energy. So you know the Mexican hairless dog, the Zoloto, right? That's the that's not the jackal that they tell us from Egypt. It's the dog from Mexico, right? When Anubis comes with Tahuti, they call it the brothers of destruction,
Right.
right? Because the father Osiris is followed by a black dog. The great father is followed by the black dog, and the black dog is Canis Major,
Yes.
right? But the black dog is followed by a puppy because right behind it is Canis Minor, right? So that's a three parent lineage on the father line. So Tubal Cain. Okay, what that means is it's a father, a son, and a grandson all working to be righteous to the same degree. So we come across in the translation of the stars is the great father walks with a black dog and the black dog comes with a puppy. Right? Because Canis Major is followed by Canis Minor, and Canis Major is on the heels of Osiris, or as we call him, Orianos.
Yeah.
Right? So his belt is the three sisters.
Yep.
Right? He used the three sisters to flip the motherland. But if the three sisters pick the sun, then should they bump the sun to a four-corner shuffle? That flipping to the other side of the star system. Because the Tubal Cain in the four-corner shuffle is the seven sisters of the Pleiades, the Pleiadian seal. And the Pleiadian seal, as above, so below, is the La Palma Islands, right? What we call the Canary Islands. And the Canary is the first in the motherfucking cave when the mining expedition go on, because they the most sensitive. So when the seven sisters seal you, you seal for sure. And when the father's line flip you off a Tubal Cain for the mother line to give you a four-corner shuffle, they validating who you is by not even telling you nothing, because they doing it in your face behind your back. Now, when you were saying you went to some of my old videos, remember, I said when the energy grids start to shift and the energy start to upgrade,
Mm-hmm.
and Big Mama turned their mitochondrial off.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you
Remember I
did.
said that?
Yes,
I
sir.
said
Yes, sir.
I
I
said they're gonna
remember.
come up with every excuse to tell y'all
Yep,
why these motherfuckers is just dropping dead, but they
you
really
sure
not gonna
did.
be able to tell you the truth.
Because you talked about that mitochondrial DNA. You sure
Yeah.
did.
So that was what, 2018?
That was 2018. Mm-hmm.
So we in 2022. So that's at least two and a
Mm-hmm.
half years. So
No,
I
it's
was
almost.
telling them
Mm-hmm.
2.5 years ago
Mm-hmm.
that they gonna cut when the mitochondria starts to get
Mm-hmm.
shut off.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna have an explanation. What's the cause of sudden adult death syndrome?
I don't know. Talk to me. Tell
They
me.
don't got no cause of
They
death.
don't have one. They
I
don't
want
know
to say it. I want to say it, but like I said, I got a couple of my other pages blocked already. But
It's not
consequences.
that.
We're
That's
going
the
to say
government.
consequences because you didn't listen, because you didn't use rational sense. Fuck common
Yeah.
sense, rational sense. You let motherfucker play with you like a guinea pig. You
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what I'm saying? So
Listen, it ain't that. Before that shit even came about, I said this.
It's the crystalline. It's the crystalline. Like it's the.
Now that
Mm-hmm.
could be a contributing factor to some of the cases, but it was going to happen anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
I believe.
some of the ones running around calling themselves gods
Mm-hmm.
and didn't do that self work and didn't get that dirt and no good rottenness out of them.
That shadow work is a
They gonna be
requirement. If you
trying to
ain't get that
beat Big
shadow work.
Mama out their head by running their head into the walls.
Mm-hmm. It's the cleanup. It's the cleanup. That's why everybody not gonna go. It's a lot of people not gonna go. I'm telling
We,
you, it's the
I'm,
cleanup. Because a lot
you
of
know
people
what's
thinking
funny?
they
My
can
I'm
just
glad you said
thing,
that part.
meditate,
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
my,
I
I
my
don't
thought
see
it
a lot
was
of
thing
fun.
people
is
thinking they
if they
exactly that
over
shadow
12,
work.
kill them all.
Yep,
If they over 12, kill them all. We'll start with the youth.
that's what they. Yep, yep.
OG, I ain't gonna lie. She said some real stuff. She was like, everybody ain't gonna make it. But for the ones that do, right? I be on some aces and places stuff. I'm real big on black economics. We've been talking about this for years as well. And one of the places we can start is funding our own. If we're saying that we're at war, then funding the soldiers, fund the shit that people need, fund the centers, fund all this type of stuff. And when I'm saying funding, it ain't always about money. I think we should all, like the same way we used to say back in the day, each one teach one. There's all of us out here talented and stuff. Brick masons, teachers, hair stylists, everything, bro. You know your art. You know your. I really want to just get to a point where, especially since you got so many people that just love you, get people to sign up for a situation where they're offering talent, they're offering their God given abilities and stuff like that, or what they do or bring to the collective. You see what I'm
But
saying?
I'm
And that
saying they don't have to here in a minute, because just like when I sent the thing about the Bitcoin, like we talked about the Federal Reserve, in a minute this whole thing finna come down crashing. We've been told them. I mean, people were
that's why.
prepared for the fiat thing, but I'm gonna tell you what a lot of people aren't prepared for is that this crypto thing. A lot of people in the conscious community have invested in crypto because they were ill advised, and this shit should be shut down. I'm telling you. So they're gonna be coming running, and they're gonna have to barter. They're gonna have to trade. They're gonna have to use gifts, talent, skills, and abilities amongst one another and amongst tribes. And my thing and the message that the spirit and the ancestors told me to make sure I conveyed is one, be prepared, because a lot of us aren't prepared, but most importantly, not to fall into a spirit of depression, because I'm telling you, like, I really sense it and I see it. Because a lot of people, I'm saying, within the conscious community, they've invested a lot of money preparing and thinking, I'm ready for this when this fiat fall, and this shit gonna come down. So they're going to do it because they're not going to have but a choice to do it. They are, because we're going to have the nation build. That's it.
So what we don't realize is we've been building a nation
Mm-hmm.
in a nation the whole goddamn time. They thought we
Mm-hmm.
was dead.
Yeah.
They thought we was laying down and that we wasn't learning nothing from history.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't think none of us paid attention to Marcus Garvey.
I
They
say.
didn't think none of us paid attention to Du Bois. They didn't think none of us paid attention to Booker T. Washington or Carter G. Woodson. They absolutely think we forgot about Malcolm. They thought we were some scared to
Mm-hmm.
death ass Negroes that wasn't gonna listen to
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm, and that we was only gonna listen to Martin until that nigga got militant. Then they decided we gonna kill this nigga to show the motherfuckers not to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
they thought there was none of us paying
Mm-hmm.
attention. I'm gonna tell you this. Elijah Muhammad's job was to build us a military.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I want to have.
The tribes, the tribal leaders is to
Listen
make a
on them.
noise for your tribe and know where you at.
To have peace
What's
and
up,
harmony
buddy?
on you. Hi.
He said he puts peace and harmony on everybody.
Thank you.
Go back to business, dude.
That's my little, now that's a little boy. That's a little young guy. That one right there. I told you that one right there. Special. That one right there. He's special. That's my little baby.
Yeah,
So
man.
Ali said before he departed in 1929 that he was going to leave these people in power until we learn how to run a government.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The UNIA was a blueprint to how to run a government and how to perform diplomatic connections around the world by forming what he called a confraternity.
Mm.
They thinking that the Pan-Africanism of Marcus Garvey and Du Bois is the same as the Back to Africa movement of James Delaney, when it's a whole different ideology being exercised.
And 1,000 points, can I just inject one thing? Because people do half-ass research. They tap into it. A lot of people do the half-ass research because they discredit him because they say he was working with white supremacists that were trying to meet the same objective. But he was just smart. Like if we all say we agree on something, but we can't work together. Me and him don't agree on nothing, but we do agree on one thing. We all want to have this connection for us to go back and forth to Africa. So he worked who he could work with. So I'm sorry, I was just because people always try to change the story and they half-ass do research, especially about Marcus Garvey.
Now, a lot of when they be talking about Pan-Africanism, when you go over there, because if you get a Pan-African education, like Noble Ali said, get a good Moorish education, right? So when you study the Moors, it's going to tell you something about a group of people that don't behave like you.
Right.
Right? When Garvey say form a confraternity, a world African confraternity, Asia meets Africa, right? The uniting of what they say, all of them say uniting the Asia and Africa. That's to who? That's the father and the mother. That's Isis and or Inanna and Enki, right? Or Isis and Osir. Asia. So bring mom and dad back together. What do that produce? The black dog, right? So that's coming over here.
And that's why Orion's build is out right now.
Right. So when we look at the foundations of government, they don't have nothing to do with an election. When they told us that the elections was a central part of government, they lied to us. Under the matriarchy, the process is a process of nature. The natural order of the spiritual ranking system will be expressed in the domain of the public or the human. We're going to act as godly as we attain. If you don't attain godhood, you can't become godly. If you don't pay attention to your God self, you can't behave like a God. If all you focus on is your physical self, you can only behave within the confines of the laws of physics or the physical realm. But when you start using your God self, you above the, now you looking down on this shit like, why did I give a fuck that somebody got murdered? I created that shit.
Yeah.
Right? If you God, if you truly in your God self, when you created the good, the byproduct is it's the shadows, it's the counterfeit spirit, it's the reflection of the thing you created. So when you created all these righteous motherfuckers, they had to be inhabited with unrighteousness. That's why Paul say that when I try to do right, for some reason I can't do that shit. But when I ain't trying to do right, this motherfucking demon right here be all up in me. So every time I try to do right, this motherfucker rise up and make me behave according to him. Who is this motherfucker he's wrestling with? W.E.B. Du Bois put it like this: in the warring soul, in the souls of black folks. He says two identities in me. One, a construct of a white supremacist society created and gave to me as my personal self. And the other self that I'm always wrestling with, my true identity of blackness and who I really am, right? When you talk about blackness under those, in that context, you're talking chaos energy. Because if you're fighting against the artificial self, the only thing can defeat it is control chaos.
Right.
So that means that you have to first go into the chaos. They call that going insane. And when you come out of the chaos is when you learn how to put the chaos in order in the 3D realm. Right? So once you start putting your own mind together, the side effect is, as you speak about what you did when you put your mind together, you reconstructing the mind of the rest of the lost.
Sure.
Like, that's why, like I said, because I was telling you, Marquise, I was like, I feel like her story had been told, right? Because everyone just kind of always talks about it. But I'm like, that's the really true version. That's the first Phoenix. That's the real version of, you know, conquering death, hell, and the grave. Because it wasn't just that she picked up the pieces of Osiris from the scattered land, which is picking us up right now. We're kind of going through a set situation. Because if you look at all throughout the land, this whole land, everyone is rising up through all the various places. But she also went down because in order to resurrect him, she had to go down into what they call hell. And then she created a phallus from light so that she could create a new light and resurrect. So if you ever have an offset or an Isis altar, you got to have not only a feather, but you have to have something that is resurrecting, of dealing with quote unquote death or resurrection. You can't just have no offset altar and just have something cutesy. You got to have something, because she represents resurrection in life and death in there. And so people have kind of minimized her story. And so I always have to retell it properly in the proper context of the true divine feminine energy of the rising of the true Phoenix, because she is the rising of the Phoenix. Like, that is the energy.
Okay, now something else that we need to ponder when we're looking at that, the humanity of it, meaning the mortal aspect, right? When Osiris was killed, that was the love of her life.
Yes.
So we don't think that she fell apart emotionally?
Right.
And when she was putting him back together, it never crossed nobody's mind that she was creating her parthogenic son that they call Heru.
Right.
Right? So in other words, she was teaching his son to be just like his daddy. So what she do in the end? She resurrected the father and the son.
And why we have to have the divine feminine and masculine. Like, that's why they wanted to
Always.
separate them. Because they know together we powerful. So that's why it's a requirement that the divine.
But that's the sick part, man. I'm not. We say, and one of the funny thing about being a sovereign entity, a god, or whatever we want to call ourselves now, right? We look at everybody else around us, man. Like, I be around so many people. Like, you ever just be around your people and just be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? People be lost like a motherfucker. You just be trying to figure this shit out. Like, that's where I'm at with it. I'm trying to save as many. I don't know where I'm at with it. I'm trying to save as many people as possible. But you know how that shit is. Like brother says, shit. A lot of people just here for the fuel the flame. But I just noticed that a lot in New Orleans and a lot in Mississippi. Like, I come to them with a brand new way of thinking. Like, yo, this is right. You know what I'm saying? You see, I'm still alive. I went out there. I stepped outside the box. I'm back. This is what we got here. We can try this. It's different. We can leave all that other shit alone. And some motherfuckers just stuck. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm just in between. Do we rebuild? Like he said, we've already been doing this for so long. It's like, real quick though. If you look at the screen, the way our screen is split right now, it kind of look like the Dogon. I can't pronounce the name, but the Dogon mask, which is actually a big thing tonight. Also the currency thing, back to what you're talking about, because I don't want to get too far off. You were talking about full moon, eclipse, Taurus, money, eclipse in your money, a war in your money, or should we attack? Some people are saying we'll take that as, I don't want to attack the industry right now. I take that as, think about it, Taurus, attack the industry right now, attack everything that makes sense right now, right? Oh, real quick before we forget, CMOS. Niggas about to be selling CMOS on corners like weed around this motherfucker. They're trying to ban CMOS. CMOS.
Okay, let me give you a spoiler. Anything that you think that they trying to ban, they trying to get your attention with that shit.
I peeped that too. Yeah, I was trying to figure that shit out myself.
Look, if they think that so you got a person that be trying to avoid those woke niggas, those conscious niggas, or those Muslim niggas. You got people that actively avoid those niggas that's always talking that knowledge shit. So in order to get one of them motherfuckers to pay attention to one of them niggas that's talking that knowledge shit, when they bring up Sabi, right? And they got enough Nipsey Hussle in them to know who Dr. Sabi is and that he advocated CMOS, right? So now he was ducking all of the knowledge motherfuckers, but now they finna ban CMOS. Then he that's how you crack through the conscience of a motherfucking hardhead.
Right.
It's all
it's so hypocritical. We talking about we niggas is dumb. Like we acting like, oh, our ancestors this, our ancestors. You let them break the treaties. They breaking treaties right now with the freedom of speech. The freedom of speech.
You ain't looking at it.
No, I get it. But on the God status, they got Kyrie pent up in a corner for his speech. On some, we want bans because you said something. What happened to freedom of? What happened to these articles that we know that don't exist? But why now as gods, why aren't we penetrating? Like, where's the comeback of the beautiful Kyrie? You don't got nobody smart enough around you to be like, we're suing you for going against our freedom of speech, or does that go back to the contract thing? The thing when you sign contracts.
I think you understand. This is the season people got to get exposed. It is what it is. They got to be I mean, it's just kind of. It is what it is. Like that's why I think I'm moved in meaning I'm supporting, but I'm not moved because I understand this. Part of Eclipse season is it's exposing people too. Like that's part of what eclipses do. It opens up, it exposes, like not just in the Kyrie, but also in people's individual lives. So you have to look at things are like stuff is gonna come out in people's individual lives, in the spirit realm, in political realms, and finance. Like shit is just in the open. Like you lay that shit out on the table.
Why they never took Mardi Gras from New Orleans?
Because they can't, because we would tear that bitch up.
You can't.
Right, because it's something in the people that if you take that away from them, it causes them to react like a person detoxing from a drug. They rebel because they can't. They used to having an open ancestral channel.
Right.
And now motherfuckers trying to close that shit. Okay, look at it with the guy. Listen, look at it with the guideline. You not finna stop a motherfucker from New Orleans from having Mardi Gras. So what do? You make that motherfucker to a big deal every time they have it.
Right.
Right? So they know that it's still there, but it's only a big deal in New Orleans and you everywhere else.
Oh, you try to temper the energy and make it seem like it's commercialized or try to minimize. Yeah.
Right. No, try to make it seem like it's some evil demonic shit that they only do in New Orleans.
Right. Right.
1,000 pardons. Just say we just did the Goon Goon. I just attended one with the OG Tahir, with the OG, the goddess herself, Sunni Patterson. When I tell you, fuck all the bullshit, come out there for yourself and see the shit. When I tell you, we weren't just stumping to be seen. We stumped, where we were stomping was the white people neighborhoods, the Irish neighborhoods, the Jew neighborhoods, and we were stomping out that bitch. Skinheads was out there. I wasn't trying to do all that with the cameras. I'm trying to show the beauty of it, but it was skinheads out there, bitch. Like New Orleans, they bought it, but we were stomping on that shit saying, and we were reminding them, yeah, remember we killed y'all one time. It literally, that ceremony was saying, we killed y'all and we slaughtered y'all right here. We remember, and let's dance about it, and let's talk about it, and let's play about it. We had the demon out there with us.
Yeah, I saw
God, demon, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's on some other shit. Like we still stomping on motherfuckers. It's just motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to interject that part, but it's bigger than just it's being seen. No, it was a whole ritual. We were stomping on their shit. We were stomping on their grave. We were laughing. We were dead. We went to the slave quarters in New Orleans and went down there and said, yeah, we bringing our ancestors with us. You know what I'm saying?
People sleeping on New Orleans energy. People don't understand because, I'm Louisiana folk Creole. Like, that's what my people say. People sleep on the energy and power that's still to this day that's sitting in New Orleans. Like, they don't sleep on them because them people still down there do what they got to do. And they'll do it with a smile. Like, I'm talking about all the time, every day, day in and day out. They got as much going on, I would dare to say, as Haiti. Like, as far as to me, an American portal, New Orleans has kept it going. It's a reason they try to give a bad reputation. And say, well, don't go mess with that Louisiana girl. Don't
when it comes to real, I ain't even gonna put that out there no more. That's just for the dumb ones. They say a bad reputation, but that's for people that just don't know
No, I
shit.
don't care. You know, I don't care. But I'm saying the reason why is just like how they talk about IAT. They talk about Louisiana, and in particular, the New Orleans or the Baton Rouge point, but the New Orleans because it's an energy down there and it's a power down there. And to this day, like I'm telling you what I know. Yeah, I'll just say that, and they have kept it going. And to me, it's a reason that I feel like that they have used to put those hurricanes and was constantly attacking them, just like they was attacking I-80 with hurricanes and earthquakes, because they were attacking the people because it's energy and they could feel that energy and those ceremonies that was coming from that portal. Them people be always putting in work. They ain't never stopped, never.
So
Not in New
explain
Orleans, they haven't.
a good thing to explain like where we at right now energetically. And people understand this is okay, so you gotta understand we in a transitional time from going from the lunar moon cycle into the solar sun cycle. That's the natural transitional phase on the 3,600 year elliptical orbit. 2,400 years of that,
Yep.
or and some change is how often we change the age.
Right. We're in a changing of an age right now.
Okay, so we going from the Piscean age into the Aquarian age. The Piscean age, the motto that goes with the Piscean age is I believe.
And we're going to knowing. Yeah, from believing to knowing.
Right. And the one for Aquarius is
I
know.
know.
Right. I can prove this shit here. Okay, now the people that used to believed in it long enough for it to be in the collective unconscious so it can be downloaded and utilized for the advantage of the people. All of their beliefs becomes our responsibility to manifest. So we don't have to believe that shit.
Right.
They did that for us.
Right.
Right? So the phoenix, what? Goes down in its own ashes. Because we burnt yesterday the fuck down.
Over.
And that's why the sun had to come up for us to have a new day from the ashes.
And this is and the eclipse energy is a 6-month cycle. So that cycle, and it's interesting you said Pythionic because their Saturn, meaning their harmonic return, ending their Saturn energy, all that dark energy is that March 23rd, 2023. So that's why I'm saying they're closing out completely, not only their cycle, but also them having to receive their harmonic debts for everything they've done, all that blood sacrificing, all that murdering, lying, taking money, taking people's indigenous land, stealing of the planet. That's another reason they're nervous and trying to do the stuff, because a lot of what they're doing is trying to, they think, tamper their own harmonic return galactically and astrologically that's coming on them. Starting, the first one is March 7th, but then March 23, 2023, which it sits in for 19 of their years, and they're the one who created this fake time construct. So yeah, and we'll be sitting in our return of taking back our land and rebalancing the energies and stuff. So yeah, it's a cleanup.
Since you mentioned for the last year we've been in the birth chart or the natal chart for the United States has been in the Pluto retrograde.
Well, no, they get ready to start. It hasn't started yet. They're going to be in a Pluto retrograde starting March 7, 2023. So, but they've been in there. We've been in our Saturn and Aquarian, meaning us as a collective have been in our Aquarian energy. But America and kind of the Great Britain is getting ready to start their shit officially in March. But it's kind of getting what I call on the runway, like with the plane on the runway and it started up. That's what these eclipses have been doing, is letting them know what's coming. Because this energy that we're going through now, which is why they closing the feds and having all this, the tribunal stuff that you talked about, the inky in, this is just a runway. This shit ain't even hit yet. That's why they nervous, because it haven't even really started. This is just a runway. The plane ain't even in the air yet.
Sure.
Okay. So when we going into the Pluto retrograde, ain't that like, here's all of your shit back?
Yeah, that's what they call that the Pluto return. So their Pluto Aquarian return, which is this place that they sit in when they officially stole the land in that 1776, it's all your shit back. And that's officially for them. That date for that one is March 7th, 2023. And then their Saturn return in Pisces, because they decided to live under this Pisceanic monetary in particular system and even political system. That's why I said political system is done. So they're getting both of their shit at the same time. And the thing with the Pluto one, that's not something that comes like every 3 months, whatever. It's a once every 200, I want to say 50 or 60 something years. So this is their complete, and it sits for a long time, like 19 years. So, and that second one is March 23rd. So they're literally getting them all at the same time.
So that's what these sigils say in the layout of DC.
Mm.
That's what the translation is, what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Because it says it's a triple overlay.
Yep.
Financial,
Mm-hmm.
political,
Mm-hmm.
and really it's legal, but it translates as governmental.
Yep.
But it's legal. It's the law is being returned back to its proper position, which is the great law.
Yep.
Right.
We're going to have a lot of deaths, finances, and of course, return of the land. So all of that stuff has got to reset, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the ancient code of kings and the rights to the earth right both is in agreement that once the original system is restored,
Mm-hmm.
then balance return back to the air, the land, the air, and the water.
Yes.
And that's the exercise of the great law.
Yes.
So if this was to be facilitated by making people close out the conjures, now it would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because any great conjure that's open causes a delay in the ability for the system to turn over.
Right. That's why it has to be closed out. And like I even had that discussion. It has to be closed out prior to March 7, 2023. Like all the conjures have to be closed. That's like the final day, period. Because if it's open, then we don't need it open. Yeah.
So somebody said, what's the significance of May is Mary, minus the R. Right? Mary is the rebellious woman, the mother of the sun. So that's Isis energy as the protective mother,
Mm-hmm.
born in March.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And March is Pisces,
That's
Aries, right? Pisces.
No,
Pisces, Aries.
they'll be under Pisceanic. Well, interestingly enough, one hits under Pisces and one hits in the conjunct of Pisces Aries, but it's a Pisceanic energy though.
Mm-hmm. And Aries come in and also
Mm-hmm.
in May, right?
In March.
I mean in March.
No, yeah, March, April.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, it comes in March 22nd to 23rd. So it's because when their Saturn return hits, it's technically going to hit ironically under Aries, which is under the bookman.
And that's the fire and war.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Aries is the god of war.
Yes. And he's ruled by Mars, which is the god of war, which is now sitting in Gemini doing its thing because it's collecting energy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we slowed it down now. I think we got it to a pace where we could get the
Yo, I'm
information
over
where
here
they-
reading the messages. I'm reading the messages. It's beautiful. Like I be putting on for Mississippi and Florida, and the Mississippi, Florida, Louisiana connection, and they are showing so much love to Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Tonight's a full moon, man. Send some power down so we can stop down on it. You know what's out here. Y'all know what we fighting up against down here. Send some manifestation to like help me destroy this shit down here. Like anyway, but yo, you want to speak on the Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi connection?
Well, you know, we used to walk the trees from
Yeah.
Louisiana all the way to Florida. So they chopped them all down.
Even through Arkansas, actually, too.
Yeah, well, they chopped down the trees off. They gutted the East Coast for their trees.
Yeah.
Right. Most of this land was forested because we chose to have it forested for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When they came in, they wanted to be able to see us riding on the backs of the alligators in the Everglades. They couldn't see us because it was the thicket was too thick. And then when we pop up on their ass, we right there in their face. Now, the modern reference is the purpose of Agent Orange in the Vietnam War is the same purpose they were setting forest fires over here. We used to be so in tune with the gators, they had to use our children as food for alligators in order to get them to develop a taste for our flesh.
Facts.
And that's why you notice a lot of slave revolts had meetings in swamps, whether it was Florida, IAT, or whatever, because we was very in tune and always have been in tune in our
Man,
swamps.
I'm not at home right now, but both of y'all seen some of the artifacts I have, and all the artifacts are books for us, and all of them show literally our ancestors, the women riding the crocodiles away from their enemies or sending the crocodiles to the ancient dragon. I'm from Panama. My grandfather's from Panama, and then my other side of my family is from Benin. Both sides don't know each other per se, but except for if they're saying it's a slave trade, but I'm thinking it's going back to Mensa Bukhari II, where it was 3,000 ships that came from over there. So they try to make it seem like it's all slavery, but we came over here on business as well, and commerce as well.
We've been trading and marrying with people from Africa.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so it's hard to explain it, but most people don't be on. You know what I'm saying?
In the islands, in the South Americas, in Southern America, we was marrying people from Africa the whole goddamn time.
Right.
On the West Coast, we was marrying Polynesians, Asians, motherfucking Filipinos.
Thanks.
We would going across the water. They, bring wives to trade from the royal families to make family treaties and shit through marriage.
Everything's on the reverse. I see.
Right. So when we realize that, we understand that the whole slave narrative, that's why it falls apart. Because the prehistoric bloodlines have all of this testimony that overrides what any of their books say. Right. So we know that when we was iron workers on the railroads in the Southwest, that we was working next to the motherfuckers that they kidnapped in China. Yeah.
Right.
But we don't want to talk about the Chinese slave trade in the Americas. But we was working right next to them. Yeah.
Right.
They thought we was some phenomenal working motherfuckers. Listen to the song Big John. Listen to the song John Henry.
And ain't them the ones they also dressed up as the Bonzo?
He was a big old man, they go to describing him.
John Henry was hammering on that mountain. They said he was 10 feet tall in that song. You remember that from the nursery rhyme? I remember that in elementary school. Because they said John Henry was hammering on that mountain. He was they said 8 feet tall or 10 feet tall. I remember that. They say he hammered so hard that he broke his heart. But yeah, I remember that song. That's when they was cutting down our crystal trees, our big ass trees and stuff.
OG, 1 second though. Someone said a question or made a statement, and I do want to address that. They said there was never no slave ships found. There's no ships over here found for anything. There's no ships over here for white people either. We got to get out that narrative of I guess everybody wants to be free of.
Look, we got.
I'm addressing that real quick because people were saying that, and we're disrespecting the ancestors. Shit happened. A lot of shit happened, and we can't discredit one for the other. I think that's where we get it, like, oh, we're this or that, and we try to force it. But the slave trade did happen. Niggas were getting traded all around the South Americas and America. That shit happened. But there was still niggas over here too. It's not one or the other. But people be like, well, there's no slave ships. Where how the Europeans go? You don't see their ships either. You don't see the great ship Jesus.
You look up Ellis Island. They coming up. Look, we got the ships, but we don't have the sardine packed slave ships they talk about. That's just an overlay for Notre Dame University because the plot was a collegiate educational plot. It was developed in the educational boardrooms of Rome. Right? It just so happened that Notre Dame is in France. And France is where Paris is, and Paris is the city of Isis. France means Frank. Right? And so if France means Frank, and Frank is a male name for Francis
Mm.
in the English, Francis being the Latin.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's telling you a group of people, the Franks,
Mm-hmm.
that popular. Yeah, a chance to get back in here. Big John, Big Bad John. He chopped our trees down, so we're going to pick up where we left off. I'm going to touch on a few topics, and then we're going to take a few different callers just to get different insights or different groups of questions. So I know who to call in first. So we was talking about, the Chinese, the Moors had Chinese servants that they traded when they fought wars in China. All of this shit is documented in the Shogunate. When you start reading the Shogun series, you start to put together the interaction between the seafarers and the people from the islands in the Pacific. You had a different group of people that sailed the Pacific than you did from sailing the Atlantic. And normally, if you went south, which is up, you would meet in the Indian Ocean, which is the junction between the Atlantic and the Pacific on the Asian South. So you got the Indian Ocean and the all over here between the Pacific and the Atlantic, south of China and India, right? So you got the Indian Ocean and you got the South Pacific. They run up on the South Pacific. Then we end up in the Polynesian Islands, going into New Zealand, going into Australia, and now we find ourselves in the outback. Different people were sailing at different parts of the land. Enlil's children chased lifetimes trying to stop the rise of the air and murder the sun before he can get power. This is the story of Loki in the Norse mythology, the son of the Ice Princess. And the Ice Princess is Isis, and Isis is the Dame of the North, and the Dame of the North mean the woman that comes from the North, the underworld. The underworld was the North, and the top of the world was the South, right? So that's why in Australia they say top of the morning to you, but over here we say good morning. What the fuck just happened, right? We don't say the bottom of the morning. We don't want you to know that we on the bottom of the planet. Because that way, the problem of making us orient our psyche to see up as north, that's going to disorient us from understanding how to correctly see, because our subconscious senses says south is up, but they got you in your conscious mind focused on north being up. So this causes your brain to have to flip to match what you believe. But if you believe misinformation, your brain don't want to flip. It don't want to accept misinformation. So when it hears the correct information, it gravitates to it instantly. That's what I'm trying to tell you right there. South is up, north is down. The cold is underworld and the hot is the motherfucking top of the world. The top of the world is the side of the planet that the sun hit first. And the bottom of the world is the time that get mostly caught up in the shadows of the top of the world. But we don't understand that because of the tropical to polar regions. The South, when you get to past the 33rd parallel, every couple hundred miles after that, the temperature taking a drastic decline this time of the year, right? If you want to get somewhere where it's warm this time of the year, everybody know, move south, because south is up, because it's closer to the sun. That's why I get more heat. And it absorbs the heat that's supposed to get down here, but we down on the bottom, so we going to catch the last of those vestiges of it, and it's going to be colder here. So south is up, north is down, the pole was flipped to confuse you. That's called the Lucifer lens has been flipped, because when you see it from its right orientation, now what was upside down turns right side up. What was turned around backwards become turned around right side forward, right? So everything is aligned according to how you're supposed to see it. Then you start seeing further than you ever thought you could see before, even without your eyes. Let that sink in. So we made alliances and intermarried with Asians in the Southwest during that period of time, because they the ones who passed us the crypt key in the public domain, right? And the crypt key is the handicap symbol. And the handicap symbol was for the cripples. And the cripples was the ones with the canes, unless they was lords. Then they was the lords of a vice. But not a Miami vice. Just a vice. Right? But you will know if they're a vice lord because they're going to be a gent. A perfect gentleman. Right? Then they're going to wear a top hat. You see what I'm saying? So when you bump straight left or right, you're going to end up in Big Mama house. And no matter whether you come from the mother line, Red Lodge, or the father line, Blue Lodge, when you get in Big Mama house, they're going to put you in some black and gold shit. And once they put you in the black and gold shit, that's the only way you can unify all the families. You got to know who everybody is on the land. So the Norsemen that came over here became known as Vikings. And we know them today as bikers, Hell's Angels, Outlaw Riders, Devil Disciples, El Diablos, right? All up with the number 13 on the bottom of their jacket, working for Big Mama, personal permission. They didn't come uninvited. They asked for permission and was granted as long as they lived under their own vine and fig tree. That's why they don't like civilians in their business, and y'all civilians keep getting in them people business. And then you wonder why you end up getting fucked up by a biker. Stay out their motherfucking family business. You don't want nobody in your family business. All of the motherfucking bikers formed into an alliance now. Big Mama told them to do it. She said, now y'all all gonna get together and y'all finna stop tearing my motherfucking property up. And when baby boy say, come on, y'all gonna have to fucking move. Right? So they all had to send somebody to make sure they had the right motherfucking baby boy. I ain't Tyrese, motherfucker. And I sure as fuck ain't scared of Ving Rhames. I'm the real gorilla. I was a knocking motherfuckers around in the knock around game since I was knocking motherfuckers out since I was 13. So, it is what it is. It ain't personal. It's just business. It's just family business. So we was telling y'all about the timing on the zodiac is matching the events on the ground. When you start understanding that, then you understand how to read that shit. It take a lot of study to understand it. And now we got to try to make it simple enough for it to make sense for a person that never studied it to be able to rationalize what we're talking about. I had a lot of, I don't post a lot when I get knocks from bikers. A lot of that because they so in-house, most of the flips I get from them, I just flip it to the leader of the Hell's Angels to put it to the board to solve it. And most of their problems get solved without outside interference. So this easier. Look, it's harder to deal with my own real people than it is to deal with some of them killers that they call bikers, gangbangers. Them motherfuckers got more of a code of honor than a regular motherfucker, because they don't even know who's oppressing them. They just going along to get along because they don't want to upset nobody. They don't want nobody mad at them. They don't want nobody to think that they was being rude. They didn't want nobody to stop them from living their little fancy life. They didn't want, they just want to just leave them people there. They won. They conquered. Just leave them there. Man, fuck them people. Fuck they feelings. Fuck they motherfucking family feelings. Treat them motherfuckers the way they treated us, because we gonna go by the same motherfucking foundation they laid. They laid down some dirt, now we gonna reap a harvest. Right? Because in the dirt they laid down, we always have a seed to plant. And as long as we plant seeds in their dirt, we gonna always find out how we do when we put in work. When you walk across the land, you get to see different people's perspective of what's taking place. But I don't got no mercy for them motherfuckers. As long as we all understand that, you don't be surprised when you find out that when you go to bop the man like Homie the Clown, the man is not going to look like the man. The man going to look like one of us when you go to bop the man. But that nigga just lost because he was fucking with the real and he's the fake. That's what it is. I don't have no, what I'm supposed to do? They was laughing when all our ancestors was in pain. You see motherfuckers while we barbecuing and shit, they got big cheese grins on their face. So they was laughing then, so why I can't laugh now? Black Girl Magic wanna know why they mad. I don't know why they mad. They started the shit. We didn't start nothing. Right? We've been operating according to the code of righteousness. And that means always be right. So we don't start no shit. So we can't lose. Because mama words don't come back void. She said we don't lose. So we ain't losing. Shit. I'm the last resort. Once they call me, that means somebody done fucked up bad. Them niggas don't want me because I come in on 10. Ryan, why you come in on 10? They exhausted 1 through 9. What I'm supposed to come in on? 3? They did that already. That didn't work. 7? That shit didn't work. 9? That shit didn't work. I got to come in on 10. So I come in. 11, 10. 10 toes down on the upright. Initiated from birth. To be an ass-kicking motherfucker. To whoop these motherfuckers from pillar to post. From Joaquin to Boaz, I whoop all of them motherfuckers' ass. I shot at this motherfucker all the way to the dirt. Because I ain't never been scared to put in no work. I just as soon bust a 9 as I will pick up a book. They say you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in the book. That must have meant I was never a nigga. Because you can't hide it from me in the book. I sniff that shit out. Like a bloodhound. A Fila Brasileiro. A Basset. A coonhound. Right? I'm going to find that shit. And then when I figure it out, you ain't going to be able to say I didn't put it all together in your face. In the public domain. For what it is. I'm just saying. It's nothing personal. I just came to get what's mine. Laugh now. Tell him, Trap Boy Freddy. Look at how they got ran down. They ain't telling before your ass got caught how you was fanned out. Look at you now. Doing like they did me. I'm gonna fucking laugh. I got a right to laugh. I don't really have a strong sense of humor like that. I got a sense of motherfucking beat a motherfucker from pillar to post, hold my motherfucking position, stand firm in the dirt. We can buckle down and knock around, and I'm gonna put in work. I hit your ass till it hurt. I don't give a fuck. You can let your girl flirt. I don't give a fuck. I can take it or leave it. So, about to start taking in before I get carried away talking that motherfucking lingo shit. I don't know if she gonna make it in. Hey, I'm probably gonna put out some music. I like talking about certain stuff. I got bars too. Look, if I was a prophet, would you watch me rise or talk about me bad and be government spies? Despise me for relentless pursuit of the truth. Since suicide bombers execute me in the booth, you can kill the man, can't kill the source. If I was a prophet, you couldn't alter my course. That's if I was a prophet. I can give you the game, can't force you to take it. Life is filled with success, and I hope you make it. I'm giving you what it took me years to learn, but know everything you get, you need to earn. Now, this is raw game by stage and degree, and if you pay attention, I can make you see shit. I'm giving you game. What made me qualified? Been married to the game since the day of inception. Illuminated vision, meaning keen perception. I studied the art of war and the art of deception. Infect these mortal minds with the art of infection. Too much bill collecting, be eating through dividends. Betrayal. That's the reason why if you say that we killing friends. Just saying. My wifey game span both the short and the long range, but some know my wifey by one of her other names. Police struggle to solve the scattered brain. Now that's when my wifey was called the murder game. Lactose quinine covered the window pane. Since the days of Billie Holiday, she been labeled the dope game. Cool Hurt, Pimp C, Studio Flame. Since the days of motherfucking day. Ooh, I forgot the bars. Getting a little rusty with this shit. I ain't been in the studio in so long. Okay, so she couldn't come in.
Yo, what's up, man?
What it do? What it do?
How's it going? So, bro, oh man, so I ran into this book, right, and it started talking about shape shifting, right? So I was like, oh shit. So I was like, yeah, I gotta talk to Rod about this shit and see, like get some insight on that because I was reading it. It had a couple pages. It was talking about how it kind of starts and how you can change your perception and like how people view you from happy to sad, so forth. And it starts off with small things like that. And then, when you were talking about totem animals and things, it was kind of making that whole connection. So I was wondering if you could talk more, like a little bit deeper, like, because there's more to this totem animal thing, studying it and so forth. It's like,
Right. So you brought up shape shifting and ranges of emotional um states and the reaction that people have to them. And then you went from there, segue to the totem animal. So that says your subconscious already know there's some similarity in understanding the totem animal and shape shifting.
right. So I'm because that the last time we was like, all right, if you see a particular animal, go read it, start studying it, look up how it acts and so forth. So it's all over the place, rolling with that.
I'm about to give you some references.
I'm sorry. Yes, please.
So study method acting.
Method acting. All right.
Right. The best method actors out right now is Denzel Washington, Jim Carrey,
Okay.
Jamie Foxx, and Will Smith. They might be the best out there right now.
Okay. Okay.
When they get into character on set, they be in character till they leave the set.
Okay. Okay.
But Jim Carrey, when he did the story of the dude from Taxi Blocker, what's his name? Andy Kaufman.
Oh, Man on the Moon.
He got stuck in that character.
Okay. Channeled it.
This is the problem with method acting. He got stuck in the character and he had to go to a site to help him get unstuck from that character. He had never embodied a character so much he couldn't break free from it.
Okay.
But what he did was, by studying Andy Kaufman like he did and tuning in to the frequency of Andy Kaufman, the energy that Andy Kaufman was governed by was stronger than the energy, or just as evenly strong as the energy of Jim Carrey, who was downloading the frequency.
Okay.
So he began to look like Andy Kaufman because he was under that frequency.
Okay. Okay.
But soon as he broke character, he can look like Jim Carrey again. But that also made him 10 times stronger for any other character that he played.
Okay.
Right?
So, yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So now, look at Will Smith playing Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Muhammad Ali sitting there.
Right.
While you watching the movie, you forget that you're not watching fucking Muhammad Ali. He tuned into the Muhammad Ali signature frequency. It's a character trait that comes with that signature frequency. And when he downloaded it, he was able to assimilate the frequency so well, he can shapeshift into the character. We watch it all the time on TV, but we never know it. Now, characters who don't really shapeshift, but make good ass movies like Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
Keanu Reeves is the same character in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures he is in motherfucking John Wick.
Yep.
He's the same character in The Matrix.
Yep.
Right? But the stuff around him and his acting style gives him the ability to pull off different expressions of the same character. He never leave his personal frequency to play a character. Instead, he used his own frequency to play the character and use like the old actors used to use on when they used to do the plays, Othello and shit. Shakespearean actor. That's what he is. Right? That's why you can always tell he the same. When you talk to him in person, it's almost like you're talking to any one of the characters. If he's cracking jokes, you're talking to Bill and Ted. Right? If he's serious, you fucking need to talking to Neo, or you talking to John Wick. Here go the thing, the character John Wick, that shit that they do in there, them rich motherfuckers do that for fun and to stay in shape, combat shape. They use paint guns, paintball guns, and laser guns, laser tag, and practice shooting in crowds, using Krav Maga and using judo, jiu-jitsu. You know, they learn different forms of martial arts, and then they run the gauntlet of the course, obstacle course, and they got to try to not have any collateral damage. Okay. So how many you dispose of with the least amount of collateral damage is how you win the game.
Okay.
So he didn't even really have to do nothing but grow his hair out, paint some fake tattoos on, and he was John Wick already.
Right. Okay. Man. That is man, so yeah, so there's okay, so method acting, and then just because it was in the book it was talking about kind of like the dancing, the grounding, going to being outside. It was like find a private place, kind of just do your dance, do your thing, just kind of and then become the character. So what's my man Joker Ledger? He played the Joker. It was like a similar story when he was like you said he locked himself in the room and then it just became what we saw. But it's so the shape shifting part, like your physical body actually changes into the
So
character.
your physical characteristics can change over time by absorbing certain frequencies.
Okay.
Instant shape shifting is a whole nother animal. You have to be from a different species than a human for that.
Okay.
Your muscles in your face have to be different. That's the only thing. You have some humans that have that ability to contort their face and make them look like different people, right? But everybody can't do it.
Right. Okay. Okay. It was saying some people would just identify as that, but then other people can actually, you know, and So, and what I'm getting at a lot is because when we talk about being the X-Men and stuff, um, Mystique, right? How she could just change into anything or anybody, and there's something in her like, and that was like one of the whole movies where they after her blood because of what the properties that were in it that caused her to be able to caused her power to be. So it was so I'm like looking into the whole shape shifting, changing who it is, and then you see those type of characters all over in like the boys and stuff like that. Like it's a reoccurring thing. So I was like, yeah, just want to talk about that shit.
My man say Snoop looked just like that dog in this video. Talking about that Doberman. That the irony of it is that's his totem, one of his totems. That's why the dog is even in the video.
Okay. Yeah. I've been seeing eagles everywhere. Like these joints be showing up at my house, like just crazy. Walk outside, oh shit, there go one. Like there go two. Yesterday it was four. It's like all over, just in weird places, just all random. It's can't even really count anymore. It's just like okay, like crows out here. You're like, oh yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's good?
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you drop down, fam. I'm gonna call another one up. So get a couple more in before we over with.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one, man.
All right, Tom. A moth can be a totem animal. The moth is a night butterfly, so to speak, and the moth means transformation, or you go into a dark place to transform. Um, that's the symbolism of the moth. You got different kinds too, and some of the motherfuckers the sweet as hell. Some of the prettiest patterns you ever want to see. I tried to let the sister in. Where'd she go? Go to the next one. If first you don't succeed, try and try again. Black cats come from the house of bass. The domestic house cat is a miniature totem animal to Bast. Then you have the tiger. That's a different goddess. She's represented from India. I can't remember who she is, but she's represented as a woman with stripes like a tiger. And then you have your Siamese cats, and that's the totem animal for it's another sister in Egypt that uses the cat. She's a Siamese cat. And then you have those that look like miniature lions, and those are under the house of Sekhmet. The orange tabbies and shit. Get some real cheese up in this mother.
What's going on?
Please God.
Peace, love.
Like them
So, dude,
dreads, boy, you look like you straight off the motherfucking Mayan motherfucking hieroglyphics.
yeah, man, for real. Uh,
They can't tell me we came on some goddamn ships. Nigga, they got paintings of you.
for
I can show a
real.
motherfucker a painting of you, hairdo
Yes,
and
sir.
all. What
I've
the
been
fuck?
here.
Over here.
I just came back. You know what I'm saying? I'm here again. But
Yeah.
this is for the power animals, though. Everybody, and dude was asking about the power animals.
Yeah. So
This has the
those are the
whole
top
chart.
animals in each area. Yeah.
Yep. So, brother, one dude was just asking about the fox. The fox is for cleverness, cunning, discretion in all things, dream work, and shamanic work. And
Mm-hmm.
for the dude that was just on live with you talking about the eagle, it's the sacred messenger, visions from the spirit, ability to heal spiritually, and ability to see beyond the horizon, courage, and strength. Yep. So they got some shit in this. I recommend this book right here. It actually comes with the poster. It's called
Oh,
Shamanism.
shamanism.
Yep. Your
I might
personal
have that
guide.
book.
But
I'm
another
almost
thing I really wanted to talk about is referring to what's in this book right here.
the Maya.
Yeah. So, we talk about the zodiac signs and all of the charts and how everything work, but our calendars is actually wrong.
Oh yeah, we know that.
Right.
Because they didn't look. They tried to scramble the calendar so that we wouldn't know the times.
Right.
So we was gonna always be making the wrong moves to try to get free.
Mhm.
Then that's why we would always refer back to, well, what's the time? What's the calendar they on in India? What they calendar year? What's the calendar year of Egypt? What's the calendar year of Greece? What's the calendar year in Rome? So when we started doing that, they started, God, these goddamn niggas need all these calendars for. Because we need to be able to get close enough to the accuracy without telling you what we doing, you dumb motherfuckers. That's why. We see y'all switching the dates, Julian calendars and
Yeah.
Gregorian calendars,
Yep.
named after Pope Julius and Pope Gregory. Who in the fuck is they to even institute a calendar? Them motherfuckers ain't got no motherfucking imperial rights on earth. Where the fuck
Right.
they come from?
And they tell
Cross-dressing
us that
ass
it's
drag queens?
365 days in a year.
Yeah, where they come from on cross-dressing drag queens?
A complete circle is 360. That's
Mm-hmm.
anybody that know that. That's common sense. So,
Mm-hmm.
so you do the math. It's supposed to be 20 days in a month, 5 days in a week. 18 months in a whole year, which gives you 360 days. So
When they
we missing some months. This is why we got 2 zodiac signs in 1 month. You see, like you transition from the Libra to the, you know,
yeah,
Scorpio, whatever.
yeah, Libra turn to Scorpio in October,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the whole trick was if you can't line up the calendar, you can't get the zodiac right. If you can't get the zodiac right, as above, so below, you're gonna always be off a step.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So when we was just talking about doing like, the Oshun and all of this, trying to close the conjurings and stuff, it's very important to, make sure that you have that right, that right date. But it's so misconfused and so, mixed in. eh, It's hard. It's hard to do this shit, man. I've been trying to put this together and do the math on it and trying to add it up, but
Look,
I
you
have to
got
go back.
you got women in your household.
Yeah.
I don't know if they willing to let you, but you can monitor the calendar more accurately by monitoring their natural cycles, as long as
Hmm.
they're not irregular. Their natural cycles is going to be in alignment with the moon.
Hmm. See, I gotta look into that.
Right. So you know how many cycles she's supposed to have in a year. If she's having one every 28 days and it lasts for between 3 to 5 days, that's why the days and the months are variables.
Damn.
Some February got 28 days, but some months got 30, some got 31, and every 4 years, um, February got 29 days, a leap year. They frog jumping us in time, and we can't see it because the leap year fiasco. Because they don't know how to keep time with time without losing time, so they use something to make up the time they lost.
Right. That's why they're
But you
controlling
can't
this
undo
daylight
what's
savings
already
time.
been done.
Said you can't do what's already been done.
You can't undo what's already been done.
Hmm. What you mean by that? Elaborate a little more for me.
You can't unspill the spilled milk. You can only clean it up. It's already been spilled. Now you can
Right.
just
The
clean it
shit
up.
written
You
in stone. It's
can't
already
unspill it
done.
once it's been done. You can't unbreak that motherfucking jar when you drop it on the concrete. It's already broke, but you can clean it up.
That part. You know. Yeah. I just wanted to, share that information, and I appreciate the time and the information for you.
For sure, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Stay on it, young fella. You on it.
All right.
Peace, God.
Peace.
Yo, 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 yo.
Yo, what's going on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Why you over there in the dark?
I'm in the car, man.
Yeah, I thought you was trying to scare me or something.
No, no, no. Hey, man, I didn't think you was going.
Well, you on here now. Ain't what you thought. You asked, and here you is.
Hey, man. So basically, my question is, so when I meditate, I be meditating and stuff, right? And like, basically your third eye, like I can feel it like vibrating and pulsing like throughout the day, like randomly. And
Yeah.
I was trying to see if you experienced that.
Yep.
Yeah, I just
Yep.
want I just want to know more about it because it's like it be happening, but I can't really tell people about it because it's like everybody probably not going through the same thing.
Well, wait till your crown start tingling, and then the side of your head start.
You said what?
When its top crown starts going off, and then your interior gyrus right here start going off.
Yeah, I be hearing that. I be feeling that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when the messages start coming in, and you be like, "Who the fuck talking to me? Ain't nobody in the room but me, motherfucker. Where you at?"
Yeah. I be doing like breath exercises and stuff like that. And yeah, I just feel the stuff. Basically, I feel the stuff waking up. I feel the DNA waking up. Basically.
Yeah. But your chakra's gonna open first. Then it's gonna be your DNA. Well, now the right rays is coming in from the sun to upgrade the DNA. So the upgrade gonna be monumental. So I'm just waiting to see what the fuck happens.
I'm in the same boat, but I know for a fact I feel it happening inside. So yeah, that's why it's just good to talk to someone who know exactly what I'm talking about. Cause yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
that's
that's really all I really had to ask, man. And thank you for everything that you do. Cause man, you can go crazy, knowing stuff, and it's like most of the people just have no clue. Like have no clue what you're talking about. But a lot of more people is waking up, and I'm starting to hear a lot of different conversations now that's is not how it was 10 years ago. Like people is hip and they on to what's going on. You feel me?
yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
So we're just
Yeah,
getting the word out. So
yeah, man. Appreciate it.
for sure, for sure.
All right, love.
All right, peace, God.
All right, this time I came in early. I come in good this time. Remember me from the last time?
Yeah, peace, God.
Yeah, peace, God. I just said I'm gonna reach out to you.
Yeah,
My brother, he listened to you as well. I'll let you see him because before I started talking, I'm gonna let you see my brother. Gino, look around. He is here. You on live with me right now. This time.
Yo, what's up, man?
what's
Listen,
going on,
we
God?
love you and respect you, bro.
Yes,
You're
sir.
doing the right thing, man. Hey, listen, this is Trinidad, man, and we going through it as well. But we
Yeah,
live in. We understand what you're trying to put the knowledge onto us. We want everybody to understand that. So you just keep doing what you're doing, man.
yeah.
Strength and
Y'all
luck.
got some stuff coming. Soon as Haiti get done with
Yeah, they got some bullshit going on
Hold on.
down
Let's
there,
know.
man.
You talking? All right, I'm going back to talk to you because I see everybody who here, my brother, and tell him. Right?
Big respect, respect to you, man. Every time, man. Yo, listen, man. Listen.
Hold on.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I understand what you're saying, but you listen. It's about that time. We need to get it going. You know what I'm saying? We support that. We support that.
yeah.
All right, let me go in the back and talk to Roddy. So say down, say good night to.
Oh, what's his name?
That's how we
This is
talking to.
Trinidad, man.
They say, where's his scene?
Hello.
He's Roddy. He's just giving it up. All right, let's show you my people who are around and shit. My elders and lefties. Say good night. Good night to you, brother.
Good night, brother.
Good night.
All right.
Let's know.
Right. So I'm coming to talk to you now because I want to ask you some questions.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, November 10th soon coming, and I wanted to say how I realized something recently. So I was thinking, I was like, Dr. Phil Valentine, C. Freeman L., Taj Tariq Bey, Dr. Sebi, all the elders who spoke, Dick Gregory, all of them who spoke, they spoke in a intricate manner that made you provoke your thought, right? But now, the way you come now, and this time here now, is like as if the shift just been made from those elders to you and other men like you. Billy Carson, maybe, even though he talked his own talk, but I listened tonight, they spoke about you on their show. I was like, that's why they had a show with all them together, because this is a new elder who stepped into a certain level of thought process where it's like, you got to take this space, because Phil Valentine, I love him, but he's no longer that oomph, that punch, that, you know what I mean? That you
Yeah,
coming with right now.
yeah,
What you reach right now, what you coming to is like, yo, you coming with the punch. You looking to knock niggas out on some gang brain banging. You
yeah.
looking to you brain banging, but on a higher level, no. You advance on them motherfuckers. You let these motherfuckers know. I don't care about none of your petty lower gods. Because Inky and Enlil, well, Enlil, as you said, Enlil got locked up, right? Enlil, he in custody. And now, this thought came to me, right? I'm like, yo, the reason why he said Inky and Billy Carson would speak about Inky and Enlil, explaining to people that this world is fucked up from Enlil doing his shit and playing around with our shit. And it's not, so it's fucked up because of him, but he ain't telling you that Enlil get locked up. Because you know what I realized though? You said something the other night. You said, now, when you listen to your mind, they're going to have voices in there that ain't yours. Listen carefully to your fucking voice in your head. And I think that fly over people's head because they understand what you're saying. Because when you hear yourself in your mind, we done already established the fact that thoughts come to us. Shit keep coming to us. So we got to listen to our own head, our minds, to hear if that's our voice or not. When I'm like, yo, you the first person that kind of talk to me. And I started to do it now more regularly because you got to practice that shit. You got to sit down in a room as dark as fuck and stay in your own mind, take up your TV, take up your laptop, take up your phone, and think to yourself now, what the fuck is going on in my head? Because your head going to keep going. The monkey mind going to keep bouncing around.
And then
But the mere fact is,
when you hear the other voices, it tune you into them. So some of the voices will tell you to do some shit that ain't you.
right.
If you don't know yourself, you would do that shit. But
That's what I'm saying.
So that's why I said, listen, you got to know yourself enough to know somebody putting a thought there that ain't yours.
Right. And now, by you saying that though, it make me realize that that's why you was able to pick up on that information from the Galactic Council, separate to Billy Carson or Phil Valentine, because they ain't never said nothing like that. It might be simple shit you say, that's some serious shit, you know.
Yeah. So look,
they ain't never tell you, well, listen to your mind.
I get the articles.
And you got the articles too.
I posted them on my Instagram.
That Enlil got locked up in the Galactic Council, that article?
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't even see that when I was looking for it.
Yeah, it got the aliens. It's two parts. The aliens facing opposite directions.
So that gives you that's a knockback.
Yeah, and then I got the article where the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers is trying to surrender to the.
Right, I saw that one too. Yeah, I saw that one too. I saw that one. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing I want to say though is, now this Larry Hoover, free Larry Hoover. So I'm in Trinidad and Tobago, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we know about tribalism. We got different tribes down here too. We know about the whole. We connected because it's the Americas. Back to the motherland, and I said back to the mainland. Big Mama just send things down here. We collect it. We give it. We send back stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the free Larry Hoover thing now, for a while, it was taking me trying to figure out his relevance separate from what you've been saying, because now I believe everything you say, right? I work with what you say because it resonates with them myself. Now, I was trying to figure out something here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to something recently now where there's a brother. Now, he's a weird brother. His name is Whack 100. You know him. You probably heard of it, right?
Yeah, I know what Whack 100 is.
Right. So he's talking on a Hebrew channel about religion and God and shit. And they talking about prophets. And this man came out and said, well, if y'all talking about prophets, I know a prophet. Larry Hoover, a motherfucking prophet, because there's a secret footage of him speaking about in 1998 what's going to happen like right now. And it's exactly the same thing. That's what he's saying. I'm like, oh, shit. Now, it's crazy. I have to use Whack 100, a crazy guy, to verify what you've been saying about free Larry Hoover. But that's how the message comes across sometimes, though. You got to hear somebody who you don't respect say some shit that's truth. Would be like, yo, Larry Hoover said what he said in 1998. The shit is happening right now. And that motherfucker is a prophet. So I'm saying, no, that's a chief. That's what Rahab been saying. He's a fucking chief. So in your mind, there's no doubt in your mind that he's coming out.
No, ain't no doubt in my mind. He in
Ain't no doubt in your mind he coming out.
Raven Rock, Colorado, continuity of government with the rest of the chiefs, receiving the transitional government. They part of the transitional team, right?
Right.
And soon as the transition is done in the background, that's when they come out into the forefront.
So no doubt in your mind, Larry Hoover coming out here and he gonna talk to the fucking people because
Ain't
he
no
is a fucking prophet. I mean, he's a chief. He gotta talk. He gotta talk. He gotta say something on the land.
Yeah, they
Free
got
Larry Hoover. I'm saying that from Trinidad and Tobago. Like, yo, Larry Hoover gotta come out of fucking jail. Even when you were saying it from before. Even the first time I first saw you, when you went viral on the Intergalactic Council, and you was talking about, man, they're gonna let down some thunderstorm, some lightning that's gonna be so loud that y'all motherfuckers they're angry and shit, and they gotta free Larry Hoover. That's the first time I saw you talking about that from that time. But I kept it in my mind because I'm like, yo, I'm in Trinidad, but the brother is making my mind reach a certain level where I understand what he's saying from all the way down here because the Queen of England, that Elizabeth got to do what she did. Like I tell people, the mother of all harlots. She just died. So what the fuck we gonna blame anybody else? Who's the mother of all harlots now? I
well,
don't know anybody else.
well, the Queen Elizabeth's been dead, but they didn't
That's what
announce
I'm
it until
saying.
they can use it to send a signal. They couldn't announce she was dead till they had the Queen of the Black nobility in custody.
Oh, okay.
So once they could, because she's a cat's paw. She's the face of the people
She's
that
a
don't get
CEO. Yeah.
anything.
Right.
So the lizard bitch been dead, but they was using this lookalike that they got from this acting place to play
Yeah.
her in the public. But they couldn't
Yeah.
announce it until the white hats get the queen of the black nobility in Switzerland. They had to get her in custody first.
Right.
So once they finally got, because she was the hive queen for the motherfuckers. So once they got her in custody, now they can tell y'all, ding dong, the bitch is dead. Ding dong, the bitch is dead.
That's what we needed in Trinidad because my country connected to that bitch. And that bitch causing us to be, well, it's still in Lil with that political system. That political system that we under is in Lil and them motherfuckers that keep doing this shit that got us so crazy where we can't even fucking see each other as individuals, as human beings. If I ain't got on a chain, I can't get the same bitches as you. I can't do this. I can't. Like, we got to get over that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we got to get over that shit. But you know, I've been talking a lot. I probably have some more questions, but I'm going to come on again later on next time.
Okay.
But like I said again, you've been fucking doing the work, putting in that work, and making me see your points and connecting the dots as you go along. As you say, don't side with information. Don't side with the person giving information. If you side with information, right?
Yeah.
Don't side with the person, side with what they're saying, and look for the fucking knockbacks.
Yeah.
And I like that you said that you believe in no doubt in your mind Larry for coming out. And he got to come out because what he been doing is a realist. What he represent is a chief. He got to speak.
So,
because he going to call these motherfuckers out. When they come out, you know what's happening, man. You know I'm one of them going to be outside, as I say, outside. Because I know you're going to crack some of their fucking heads too if you get a chance. That's how I'm saying.
Hey, look.
Some very big men.
You know, all this old talking shit ain't for me. I'm about, let's go do this shit.
Me too.
But
me too.
You know, they want me
Me too.
So I'm gonna teach the best I can teach.
Until Big Mama give you the okay to tell you, well, go outside now and play because, you know, I know you've been wanting to do this. So go ahead. Once she give you the okay, then you go outside. But for now, we just gonna hold it up, do what we gotta do. And I also like though how you kill that Moorish argument though. All that paperwork and suing the state and all that shit. Forget about all that. Something else coming for them.
Shit that ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, all that shit is bogus. Like, I mean, I can show you some shit here, but it's public. But yeah, I be going through a lot with the police because of my place and whatever. But when I think about how you speak, I'm like, yo, just fucking, they gonna get their big judgment coming to them. They got it lined up. It's already fucking in their hand. It's right there. Just hold on a little bit longer. Just wait because they're gonna get that fucking blow.
We ain't have police before them motherfuckers came, and we didn't have prisons before they came. Why we need that shit?
That's what I'm saying. And you know something I wanted to ask you though. The other day you was talking to somebody, right? And you was explaining to them about the Sharif, but you didn't get a chance to because I think they stopped you from speaking. But you was explaining like what the Sharif gonna do if a child throw a rock and break somebody's glass. What's gonna happen then? Like I was waiting to hear that like response because you still gonna need to have the Sharif, even though it's tribal shit and shit go. You know what I mean? Just to make sure everything still have that structure because, you know what I mean? But I want you here to explain the Sharif. How they gonna function? What they gonna do? They got jails with them? What they doing?
Look, we gonna be policing our own communities. We not gonna
Right.
be
So if
moving
somebody fuck up.
outside. You're not gonna be allowed to be police in this area and you ain't from here.
Right.
Now they import police from all over the country to different places. And they don't understand the local culture, so they abuse their authority. Right? So they gonna have to either fall in line, and ain't gonna be no police, but we gonna have sheriffs. Right? And we might have marshals, but that shit gonna get phased out too. But we going from a criminal culture to a righteous culture. We need
That's right.
we need a transitional team in place for that, for the people to learn to go back to the old ways. Right? And that Page say still gonna need an army. We ain't no more that living off another motherfucker's earnings. You gonna have to earn your own shit.
Right. You gonna have to, as you say, when Big Mama house have no food, we got to go and put food in our house.
Yeah, all of
Everybody gonna get you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
We gotta get the
too
food.
many people.
There's 50 motherfuckers coming to the house every day. That's how Big Mama house stay. You gotta have food in there. We gotta go get this food and bring it back for Big Mama.
Yeah,
Just to make sure the house got
that's
food.
why she always lived on the farm, cause Uncle Joe
Right.
was the butcher. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Uncle Bobby and Uncle Mike, they was the motherfuckers that barbecued and cooked.
That's right.
And the women was the ones that fed everybody and organized the plates around the table and said who was sitting where.
Right.
You know? And better not nobody sit in Big Mama's seat, in Big Papa's seat. Y'all already know better.
Right. And the next thing you said is what Big Mama always got somebody baby in the house. Somebody in the family baby always in Big Mama house. Right now, my two nephews in my mama house. Because it always got to have a baby in there. Big Mama always got a baby in her house all the time. They got to say by Big Mama for 6 months. They got to be there for a month. They got to be for 2 months. Summer vacation. Big Mama always got a baby in her house. Yo. She always got a baby in there. Or an 8-year-old or somebody 9-year-old or a 10-year-old. In the fuck, my nephew's right now in the house with us because that's Big Mama house. They gotta come home to Big Mama and stay with her for a little while until their mama, which is her daughter. You know what I mean? That's what Big Mama do, and they taking care of them all the time.
Mm-hmm. But that also gives the parents a break from parenting,
yeah,
so they can have a chance to do the relationship maintenance on the one-on-one. But
that's what you're talking about right there. You see what you went there? You went right in the spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they home because that's why it happened.
We forgot. So now we don't want our mamas keeping our kids and our aunties keeping our kids. They doing that so you can go do your relationship maintenance with your partner.
Yes, that's right. You're right. You the truth, man. You the truth, man. Because I'm telling you, that's why they're two twins and they eat the fucking house out of my mother. Anywhere I go, if I'm buying food, she like, make sure you bring me for some of them kids home, make sure she don't play with that shit. That's some real shit.
She not gonna have them at her house hungry, that's why.
She not playing with that. If you go to buy food, you gotta buy for them kids too. Like, you know, uncle, I gotta go and buy for them, but that's what Big Mama roll. Mm-hmm. It's the same love for us. That's why the prime source creator is Big Mama energy.
Yeah.
It's Big Mama. God is Big Mama. They don't want to hear that, but you told me that, and I know that's a fucking fact from since day one, because they got more attributes that's feminine to God than masculine.
I got a Facebook video called Let's Examine the Structure of Creation that explains all that. This video about to cut off in about 20 seconds. I'm about to be done for the night. But
all right.
I'll be back on here soon. And if I got
Stay
any need,
strong, war. Stay strong, God. Stay strong, God.
for sure.
Stay strong.
Appreciate you, man. Much love to you down there.
Stay strong, God. Stay